Wait,
Look at this provocation now. This
am I going to
provocation
introduce
is what
myself,
is
or-
going to lead you to the eternal. Oh yeah. Let's start. Hello, welcome to our podcast. This is the NJEM podcast. My name is Princess, and of course, we have Felix, who is not going to introduce himself today. But then we have a guest on the show, and Emmanuel, please introduce yourself before Felix.
Hello guys, my name is Emmanuel. I'm from Berlin. Thanks for having me, Princess and Felix.
You're welcome. Sit down. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Felix.
Are you talking to me, Princess? Okay.
Yes.
It's now my turn to introduce myself.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Felix, as you know. Princess decided to jump over me today. She decided to go to introduce
deserve it.
Emmanuel before me.
Yes.
Forgetting, that Emmanuel is a guest, that I will be recording this show next week with her alone. And we'll see how it's going to work out when he's not there. Well, like she already
You
said.
better work out today.
Exactly. We are going to survive today. We'll see how it works out next week. I'm Felix, and I don't think I need to say any other thing. Princess, you can continue.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for the views and the comments that you've left on our, former podcast or on YouTube. It's very nice, watching and receiving your comments and all of that. So we hope it continues like that. Of course, you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We're also on Anchor. It's NJEM, as in NJEM. So today we are going to be going on the topic of gender role, gender role in Africa, or would probably say Nigeria. So I think the three of us, all have, different perspective on what gender roles is in Africa. So that's what we're going to be starting from. So I'll just let Felix do the honors of, introducing us on our things for today.
Yeah, we decided to talk about gender role today. And actually, before I clicked the record button, we were like thinking about the topic, and we know it would be, for some people, it would be a triggering topic. As you can see on Princess' face, she's already triggered. Because I told her, like our president in Nigeria said, okay, that his wife belongs to the kitchen and in the other room. Okay. So we are here to discuss, about the whole gender roles. Okay. So the question is like, does the woman just belong only in the kitchen? Where does the man belong? What's the role of the man in the family? What's the role of the woman? And also we would like to know where we were. Okay, like our vice president also said, this is what brought us to where we were, and the other ways, okay? So let's know where we were. Before religion, before colonialism, was gender role in Africa, or was it also in Nigeria before colonialism? Or is it something that came with the church? Because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, the Bible said submit to your wife. What was being practiced then before the whole Bible story came into the screen, okay? Are we okay with the gender roles? So I would like to also hear the opinion of also maybe Emmanuel or Princess, whoever feels like saying something about it. Do you think we are practicing these gender roles before colonialism? Or how do you view it before then? So we can move on with the topic.
So ladies first, Princess.
I don't know. Probably, I think I said this on the last podcast that since we do not have enough books or history that was left behind to know what our forefathers did. They always say it's the winners who always write, history. And I do not know why I would say Nigerians do not have enough of that. Or maybe even if we did, I've not read it. Of course, yes, I've not read all the whole books and stuff, so I'm not that much of a reader. But I do not know if the women were subdued before. But from my generation, what I see is that we are being subdued. To to the other room, to the other room, and yes, to whatever it is that they say women should do. But I do not know how many years it has stayed that we are now state that women start going more to school, getting more roles. If it was like that, I think before we started the podcast, me and Felix was talking about it, and we can only say this about culture, right? We are from the Igbos, and if the men goes to farm, which the women also do, they go to farm and they go sell. So I do not know if there are some cultures actually on the African continent that the women are more, they are more than the men. I think in Ghana there's one. I don't know if I should say that the women are more than the men or something like that. I don't know. I can't say, but I know that on some African, or in some African countries, there are where the women are more placed than the men. And if the church had brought anything, I would say take a yes to that, because of course we have to glorify the men because the men are our glory, and the men is just men, and women are the glory of a man. You get? So I don't know. Let's just see how this goes today. So up to you, Emmanuel.
When it comes to gender role, we always ask ourselves, due to we don't have any scientific reports, like from my perspective, what I know, I've visited some museums in Nigeria, saw some, historical items and try to get the history behind it, have some reads on. And from my perspective, what I think about gender role in Nigeria, to be precise, my grandmother, for example, was working on the farm. She had a farm, large plot of land, where she was, doing the agric stuff. And my grandfather too also was working partially on the farm, but he was more or less a hunter too. So gender role like this, from what I've been seeing, I think most of our women had their roles at young age. You get married, you get kids, you train the kids, and you also do some kind of like partial work and, do your duties at home. And the men are just, they're trying to be the head. Women are always supportive, or most of the time supportive. And now coming to our generation of today, the way things have developed and evolved, gender role is a little bit difficult to define because of the emotions. And let me put it this way. The way men think are different from the way women think. And we start pointing fingers at each other and looking for who is suffering more than the other. It doesn't actually have to be like that, So I think the case is like, what is my duty as a lady? What is my purpose? And as a man, you ask yourself the same thing too. So when you're in a relationship or in a marriage or whatever you call it, you have to figure out, what do I have to do to support my partner? And each and every one has to play his role, like accurate, for you to have a long-lasting and healthy relationship. Because when you start like, no, today you are the man, you have to do this. No, you're the lady, you have to do this. I think that's where most of the issues come from. And sometimes you have to communicate in a way that your partner has to understand you. And even if your partner doesn't understand you, you have to be understanding that sometimes communication needs a certain period of time due to experience to be understood. And even if you communicate, you may still need comprehension to get the message that is trying to be passed on onto you. So, in general, my duty as a man, what do I have to do? Then we have cultural diverse population in Nigeria, like we all know, different kind of tribes. We all behave a little bit different, have our manners, have our cultures. Then you have the sex role ideology also too in the culture, and then you have the social structural level in the community, which also have to be defined on the base of educational standard in today's world or today's life. And yeah, so I think that's enough for the start. I'm going a little bit too astray. What do you guys think about that?
No, my own point of view, just like Princess said, there are no written documents about what it was before religion or before colonialism. But I think it's also part of the problem for us just to believe that everything has to be written. But there were people who could give also their personal experiences, okay? That would be in the form of our grandparents who were able to tell our great-grandparents who told our grandparents some stories about how it worked then. And then they were able to tell our parents, and in some cases your parents tells you, or you got the story directly from our grandparents. But the stories I've heard personally is that it looked like it was different then. If we look at what we've heard, okay? Like you already mentioned, we were having a discussion before, and it was like, the man farms, the woman sells. Is the woman still a housewife? It's like an open question there, because that means before then there was like this sort of division of labor, and everybody was taking care of their own roles, and it wasn't a problem. So what made it to become a problem today is something that I am finding difficult, because whenever you talk about gender roles, and mostly in the feminist world, they feel triggered. It's like immediately you're talking about the woman sitting at home taking care of the children and all those things. They feel that's exactly immediately. They don't imagine a situation whereby it can also mean other things. But I feel like personally the trigger comes from the more from the religion, whereby it's like you have to submissive to your husband. There's nothing wrong also being submissive to your husband, but that doesn't automatically mean you should sit down at home and take care of the kids. There's also a role to it. Everybody's playing their own role, and that's why I decided to go that far. Where did it start from? Was it there before? Where did it start from? Where are we going to now? And that's like my own view on this topic, okay? But the next now, like us to ask now is like, are we getting gender role? Who is then the breadwinner? Like, whereby the man farms and the woman says both of them are the breadwinners. So what's actually wrong with the gender role then? Why, Princess, why do you feel triggered by that topic? Because I know, the fire is burning. I want you to bring out a fire. What is wrong with with that word gender role? Why do you feel like a lot of feminists, a lot of women feel the anger immediately they hear that word? There's a reason. I know there's a reason why once you say gender role, it automatically goes to, you want me to sit at home and take care of these kids, okay? Or you don't want me to go out, or you want me to cook for you every day. There's always, what brings that trigger? I would like to know, just from your perspective as a woman, okay?
Yeah, well, the first thing is that what is gender role? Gender role is like it's what the society expects of you, based on how you act, how you speak, what you dress, how you groom yourself, how you carry yourself or conduct yourself, and these are things that whenever something has become a culture and no more a societal behavior, then people tend to break those rules. So that means. If you read about the first wave of feminism, the second wave of feminism, those people who started that wave of feminism would be, groveling in their grave right now, saying, I don't know what wave of feminism that we have now. Lots of women, I think Chimamanda Adichie said, hey, I'm a feminist, but this is not what I am talking about. She herself had to say, she was like, people have become so bitter. The women right now that we have become so bitter. Like, the thing is, I do not think they know exactly what feminist is. Feminist was a movement, I think, was a movement to make sure that, hey, maybe at that time, what you said just now is that since we do not know what our forefathers did, maybe at that time, they were also oppressed. They were oppressed by the society on the gender roles in the society. That means how they were supposed to act and dress and move and conduct themselves. And in that role, they felt caged. Whenever, there is a rule, people will want to break out of it. And since they were caged, they decided to break out. That means the feminist movement started. And it started for a good cause. They wanted a good pay. They wanted, to be heard. They didn't want to, just like what you said, sit at home and just take care of the kids. They have talent. I mean, women are doing things. But now it's like one boyfriend does something bad, you come out and say all men are scum, all boys are scum. You know, that kind of thing. And it's just like when a woman dresses a certain way, she's been called a prostitute. Also, there are a lot of things that combined or that came together to make sure that this new set of feminism came out wrong. Like with the rape, with the Me Too, with the hashtag Me Too and all those stuff, they all came out, and now the women are like, you know what, I don't want to sit down at home. What is the joy of you sitting down at home? My mom was pregnant and working. She would give birth, Igbo people will stay 3 months at home after giving birth before you go back to work. It's a must. That 3 months, she couldn't wait for her to go back. And her mom was like that, right? The mom was working. She was, she used to sell things in the East. That means she would go to the North, buy those things and come back. And so I didn't see any of them sitting at home and take care of their kids. And I don't think I'm like that, because I want to be out. I want to be working. But it's not going to let me not take care of kids, take care of my house. I do not know where the strength comes from, how women do it, but the thing I do not adhere to is when you tell them to shut up, sit down, one place, don't go to school. And I think that's where a whole lot of women do not agree with, when you tell them to be like a woman. So what is it to be like a woman? Is it just dress nice, do nice hair, do your nails, sit down, take care of kids, cook? Is that what defines a woman? Those are the kind of questions that you need to ask. Like, where is this coming from? Why do the women feel bittered when they say, hey, sit down one please? You just have to leave them to do what they want to do. Like, I had a colleague who said she doesn't want to stay at home to be a housewife, that at work they should make sure that they never sack any woman who just gave birth. I mean, of course, they do not sack women who are pregnant, like who gets pregnant and then give birth. But she was like, they shouldn't even sack her at all. And I said, why? There is if she does bad, she needs to be, she needs to go. It doesn't mean because of the fact that she is a woman who gave birth. Of course, it was her choice to give birth, right? For her to give birth, she had taken it into consideration that when I go from here, somebody has to take my role, and when I come back, I need to start from where I stopped, or maybe even be more better. It's very hard for people now to combine career and family together. So that's why I don't think women want to say, hey, I'm staying at home now, I'm the stay-in-home mom. I don't think any woman of our generation now would want to do that. Yeah. They could, but the percentage will be very small.